about to, for the first time this season, instead of just a 10-lap race of champions from the top finishers a week ago, we're going to give you the main event, 20 laps for 24 cars. And here's the lineup. Row number 1 on the inside is Steve Kellick, and George Ito, he's won recently, starts on the outside of row number 1. Row number 2 is Rob Hansen and Wiley Miller, 2 more very top contenders in this division. And perhaps the strongest people running in the top 6 positions, Gary Schroeder and Gary Howard in cars number 01 and 15 in row number 3. The 4th row is Walt Johnson in car number 32, and Sean Birmingham was scheduled to start there, but he has pulled out of the lineup and will be scratched. The 5th row on the inside is car number 10, Scott Hansen, and on the outside is car 37, Rick Hendrick. In the 6th row, 11th and 12th start, 31, Dale Harwood, and 29, Mike Castile. In the 7th row, Mike Diego in car number 51, and in the 16 car, it's a white car with blue and red stripes, is Bob Mealy, and that is a sprint car driver. He might be expected to move up to the front. In the 8th row is Paige Jones in the white number 46, who performed very well in this heat race, and on the outside, Tom Morley. Frank Daney Jr. starts on the inside of the 9th row with Jason Gibb. In the 10th row is Ron Earhart and Cal Spiff. In the 11th row is Darrell Johnson in car number 59, red, and 88, Ron Wade on the outside. And in the 12th and final row, Kara Hendrick in the red number 21 and 98, Gary McMillan. Kara's regular ride, a white, bright pink trim number 7, broke during practice and warm-ups tonight, and she has had to go to this other car and therefore is required to start last. The green flag in the 20-lap main event for the TQ Midgets is underway. The last man to win a main event in this division here at Ascot Park, leads the field past the line. You're looking at 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Right now, 3rd and 4th isolated. The number 11 car is Rob Hansen. Moving to the inside is car number 15, Gary Howard. Gary Howard, the 24-year-old driver from the land of Disneyland, from Anaheim, California. Strong runner here in the TQs here on the West Coast.
Page going outside. Page is moving up on the outside.
That white car on the top of your screen there that Parnelli was just referring to, going by right now. There he is, Paige Jones, red trim number 46. That's where he went during this heat race. Paige Jones started this race in 15th position and has moved up to 8th using what we call the cushion, what is left of the ridge of dirt around the outside. You move up there, it's the longer way around the racetrack, but you can really keep the RPMs up. You can see that Gary Howard is now trying.
That's where the groove is, and there's not too many guys that just been laying it up there and keeping it there. And even Gary Howard come back down to the inside, same as Ito. Ito is running down there. I don't think that's the real groove, to tell you the truth.
Gary Howard is running 2nd in this race as George Ito continues to lead. That's Howard on the right-hand side of your screen. Gary Howard, who began driving cars here at Ascot Park at the age of 17, and we've had a spin in turn number 1. That's Ron Arendt, the yellow number 87, one of the more beautifully painted race cars here in the TQ division. He's a regular contender in the TQ cars here on the West Coast. Ron is 45 years of age. We were talking about some of the 20-year-old drivers who are competing in this division. Howard, we were commenting about just before this yellow, is just 24. But Ron is on the other end of the spectrum. At 45, he has decided to go to this, Parnelli.
Well, a lot of guys really have a good time doing this sort of thing. And, you know, this is affordable racing for some guys. And they can't quite, you know, maybe afford the full-size midget.
Well, it'll take just a couple of seconds to get Arendt restarted, and we'll be back with the completion of this race. We still have 15 laps to go in tonight's TQ feature race.
Everyone has a dream, and with teamwork, the dream can be fulfilled. We share the proud, independent spirit of Wyoming's people. The spirit that turns dreams into realities. Let's build your dream together, because together we are Wyoming.
$1,000 cash back on Camaros, Berettas, and Corsicas. I'm Mikey Vine at Benson Chevrolet. And don't miss out on Chevrolet's best cash back program for 1989 with rebates up to $1,000 or interest rates as low as 2.9 annual percentage rate. Does cash back and low interest rates sell cars? You bet it does. These special programs from Chevrolet end soon. Great selection, cash back, and interest rates as low as 2.9. Only from Benson Chevrolet, Wyoming's volume discount dealer.
Hold on tight for some down and dirty excitement with the highest flying machines next to a 747. AMA Supercross tonight at midnight on ESPN.
Well, the number 42 car of George Ito, who started on the outside of row number 1. This is the TQ midget division you're watching, not the full-size midgets. Continues to lead this race, and old George figures to be pretty tough to get around. Points deposited him on the outside of row number 1 as we inverted the top 6 people. You're looking now at Kara Hendrick. Now, Kara Hendrick is a very fascinating story out here in the West Coast. She has won 2 main events so far this year, Pernelli, but she had problems in warm-ups and had to start dead last.
Yeah, she was having problems with her car all night. I noticed even in warm-ups there was something wrong with it. So obviously, whatever it is, it's finally put her out. And so she's jumped in another car to probably hang on to her point standings.
Kara is just 19 years of age, and she is anything but a novelty. Here is a lady racer who has won 2 main events already in 1989, and that ties her with Gary Howard, currently running 2nd, and Rob Hansen, currently running 4th for the most wins in this division. But Kara has a very tall mountain to climb tonight. As we go back to green, and Ito dives down to the bottom of the racetrack, he's going to try and protect his position from the rapidly rising Gary Howard. Gary is in a bright red number 15. Now we go back into the pack, and that's Jason Gibb in the center of your screen, the yellow number 57, and they're battling for somewhere between 5th and 15th. I tell you, there are a bunch of them in there.
Well, we got some good racing back there, I'll tell you that. No question about it.
That's the sprint car racer in the white car, Bob Mealy there. And in the number 19 car, running down at the bottom of the racetrack is Wiley Miller. But Jason Gibb there in the yellow number 57, he was leading this heat race easily tonight and then spun out in front of the entire pack, but everybody missed him. Jason has been one of the more exciting performers in TQ midget racing here at Ascot Park the last couple of weeks, but he is struggling to get up to the top 10. He's running about 12th position right now. There is Kara Hendrick. Now, Kara has passed 8 cars from her 24th starting position, so she's doing quite well, but the odds on her winning this main event aren't very good. We have completed 9 laps, working on the 10th lap, and there is the number 15 car of Gary Howard going to work on Mr. Ito. Gary Howard powering into turn number 3 and into turn number 4. Ito trying to be just perfect. George Ito won that. Oh, and Gary Howard bangs into Ito as they go into the number 1 corner.
Good race up there in front with these two, and I still don't think they're working the right groove. They are right down on the pole, and until somebody threatens them, I guess they won't change. But
well, what Ito is trying to do is protect his position. He not only senses, but he felt Gary Howard right behind him on the last lap. Now, this might well give the rest of the people behind them a chance to catch up. And once again, Gary Howard moves up and gives Ito a bit of a love tap. And while this is going on, Steve Kellick, who started in the pole, or on the pole position rather, in the number 1 position, has been able to move up a little bit, but not quite enough to challenge. There he is. Kellick's on your screen. Now let's see how Howard plays this. Certainly he'll notice that Kellick is up there now. Will Howard move up?
yeah, they're going to get blowed off right now, right around the outside here if they don't watch it.
Lap traffic begins to become a factor, and Kellick continuing to run right up on the high side, keeping the RPMs up. He moves himself into contention through some heady driving.
These guys are going to find out real quick where the groove is, I'll tell you that.
Well, George Ito is a master at finishing in the top 10 14 times out of 19 races last year. We're talking about the man leading, George Ito, in the red and white number 42, finished in the top 10. Gary Howard was running 2nd, but Steve Kellick, who was passed pass by both of these cars, has used that high groove as you predicted, Parnelli, and Kellick is going to challenge for the lead.
He is.
Steve Kellick, who has not won one of these main events so far in 1989. Twice he's victored a heat race, but he has really put himself in a nice position. He is running up there in the cushion, and I doubt that the number 15 car of Gary Howard can get by him if Kellick stays up there. If he gets by Ito, he might win this race.
Yeah, there he goes. He's going to take the lead right now.
Steve Kellick passed by both George Ito and Gary Howard about 3 laps into this race. Moves back up and takes over the lead. The best race on the racetrack and the best drive in this entire race turned in by Kellick. 17 laps are now completed. Now Kellick will have to protect his position, and he moves down to the bottom. Could that be an error?
That's an error. He should stay up there where he passed these guys and keep running how he is.
But on the other hand, Ito stays down in the bottom as the white flag comes out, as does Gary Howard in car number 15. Now Kellick moves back up to the cushion, Parnelli, for this 20th and final lap. Down the backstretch into turn number 3. He has a clear racetrack. Lap traffic is about 10 car lengths ahead, but Kellick stays up on the cushion, and Steve Kellick, a very happy Steve Kellick, comes home the victor, and that has got to be classified as an upset.
That is, because these guys just never realized that high groove was still there, and
you can see a very elated Steve Kellick. He has been shaking that fist, the gesture of victory, since he took the checkered flag. And Steve Kellick, the winner of the STP TQ feature race, that's his first main event of 1989. And is that his first main event ever? He has not won very often, that's for sure.
You know, at Ace, they must be doing something right, because folks keep coming back. I'm one of them.
This U.S. flag set is Best Buy priced at only $4.99, and this Igloo Little Playmate cooler is just $6.99.
Hey, Ace is the place for me.
The fiber that's pound for pound 5 times stronger than steel, and is in the protective vests worn by police. It makes up the unique belt of road handler treadlock radials at Sears. Tough tires you can trust.
When you grip a Delta faucet, you get more than just water. You get a chance to express yourself. Do it right now, and Delta will foot part of the bill. Up to $35 toward installation costs. Call toll-free by May 31st for rebate details and our free brochure, because now's the time to grab the phone. And a great deal when you get a grip on yourself with Delta.
Here's some news the Noid won't like. New Domino's Pan Pizza. Fresh from the oven and delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. Domino's Pan Pizza. Thick crust, generous toppings, smothered with cheese. Sorry, Noid. Call for new Domino's Pan Pizza. Nobody delivers better.
It's that eye-catching, head-turning, double-taking, no mistaking, gleaming, beaming, unbelieving, turtle wax shine. That neck craning, shine sustaining, heart shall finish, undiminished, traffic stopping, eye popping, turtle wax shine. Now check it out, ain't no doubt, this is what it's all about. Turtle wax shine. Turtle wax.
Well, we were speculating as to whether or not this was the first career win in the driving career of Steve Kellick. And I think I'll let these pictures and this sound give you the answer.
No! That felt so good!
Steve Kellick, I think it's a fairly safe assumption that he has just picked up his first main event in his driving career. And Bruce, you got the nice job. You get to talk to the young man. Go ahead, Bruce.
Well, I'll tell you, he is excited about it, right? Pumped up. How did it feel? Tell me.
It was the best feeling I've ever had in my life, man.
Really?
It was great, man. After I was running the low groove, I didn't think there was any way I could get back past Gary Howard, and I decided, well, I better try the high groove just to make sure. And I got out there, and the car really started hooking up, man, and it just flying down the straightaways, man. It felt so good to win, man.
Parnelli saw you after you took over the lead, you moved back down to the low groove, and you found out real quick that wasn't the right place.
Well, no, there was a lap car coming up, and he was in the high groove, and I knew Gary and George were right there, and I didn't want to let them, because they were running hard in the low groove, and I didn't want to let them have any room down there, so I decided I'd go underneath that lap car, and then I pulled back up to the high groove, and that thing was flying down the straightaways.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, and I'd like to say hi to everybody back in Wyoming, my mom, my dad, Jeff, everybody. Man, this is the greatest feeling ever, man.
This guy is excited, gentlemen. We'll let him enjoy this moment. We'll go back upstairs to Parnelli and Murray.
Thanks, Cannon, man.
From the Bakersfield, California area, which means he comes about 3 hours driving on the highway to come here to race, and he made that long drive very profitable tonight as he picks up his first career main event. He'd won a couple of heat races earlier this season, but this is the first time on that checkerboard there in